Hello, my fellow YouTubers. This is Roy back again. Right here, we're looking at Ed Lee Scallon with his electrical device here that he calls a electrical generator. That's what it says right here. Ed Lee Scallon demonstrating the electrical generator he designed and invented. It was a source of power for his radio and experiments. Well, for radio, that's cool because that means he was transmitting. And we see that he has these tripods and they got boxes on top and they would make perfect receivers. Okay. So, what do we know about radio or sound that we could recognize over here? Let's see if he's got some secrets here that he's trying to tell us about. Let's start off with Ed's wheel. Here we got all these magnets are freshly charged. They should be strong as hell. Oh yeah, I gotta fight them to pull them off and everything's loose. And you can see that once I get all these magnets that are up here charged, I will get them in place. Right now they're north, south, north, south. And you can see they're pretty snappy. They're nice and tight. Versus the old ones are all demagnetized, and that's from using the PMH and turning the wheel with the PMH. You don't need magnets to do it that way. You just need metal. So for you guys out there that are not using the real magnets and making your wheel just out of metal, it's fine. You can use a PMH that's built like this, and you can have it to where it just pulls, and you just have to create a timer for it. Yesterday on my other video, I did a demonstration about why the back end will fluctuate north, south every time you tap it. Meanwhile, the front will stay the same at the prong ends, and somebody had mentioned, will it do the same without the pipe in front of it? So here I just happen to be charging my magnets. We'll check it again. So let's grab my probe here, and we will you can see the tail end of that at the U-shaped part is bouncing back and forth. Now we'll see. So, goes to show that this ends of the coil stay constant with their pole that they are. And these ends over here will fluctuate like this, like a washer. And obviously they're in spin cycles, so as the energy gets released, the poles on the tail ends will change. Pretty interesting stuff. Leave your comments. Let's do one more thing. Let me see. I'll show you a quick little demonstration. Here's a bolt. I don't know if these magnets are strong or not, but you can see this one here barely. Won't even pick it up. So let me check to make sure. Let me see. How can I do this? Maybe I can lean it on top here. I guess first of all, I need to get my probe up here. I need to check, charge a magnet for you guys and show you the difference in strength. So making sure that's the south pole. This is the north side. So the north side will be putting out south magnets. And now I'm going to use my knee to hold it on there. And we're going to tap. Oh, just lost my cookie there. And we'll get this to work. There we go. Okay, just a few tabs. Come over here to this. And it picks up big time. I'll get it separated. So you can see, that's all it takes to charge your magnets, man. Realign the iron's molecules. By the way, iron has four extra electrons in per atom, and Fe right there is your iron, 26 number, and I believe that will have 26 protons to 26 electrons. So every electron would be times 4. Let's touch base over here in his writings, Ed Leedskalnin, How to Read. I got a section here, and it's regards to levitation. There's some notes I made 4 years ago down Coral Castle, size of the wheel and all that. So when I go to make a schematic for this wheel, you guys will have some accurate measurements. All right, let's start off with this one section here, and we'll try not to get into it too crazy. All right, it says, even the thing we call gravity is different beast. We have been told that gravity seems to like to stay in one place. And this is where I'm getting at with the energy we can create with the wheel, not so much electricity, but more of a transfer of energy between the atoms sharing their electrons. If we can make the rock think it's in motion instead of it sitting still the way it is right now, it's still. A body at rest stays at rest. But if we put enough energy into it and make it think it's in motion like we hurled it, and then it should have anti-gravity effects. So going back to the section over here, in fact, no one knows what gravity is, but there are many theories on how it works. Ed Leedskalnin even had a theory about gravity and told us about one of his papers. But regardless of all the theories, we all know what it can do. Try lifting a rock sometimes, then you'll see why gravity is sometimes referred as something like sticky glue. You first need to exceed the gravitational force of weight, friction, and inertia of a rock before it will first start to move. Since it is at rest, or some say asleep, once you can do that, and if you can lift it high enough like a rocket, it would then break away from the gravity field of the Earth, and in a sense it would be like a free body then, as it would continue to travel through space. In a way, it's the same kind of effect that you would experience if you were trying to separate two magnets apart. The difference is that when two magnets can turn, with two magnets, you can turn one magnet around and they would simply push apart. Too bad we can't do that with the same thing with the rock. If you could make a rock float and quick, to move it around. You would agree. So let's say if you could take a rock and make it weightless. Did you ever wonder what you would see? Since it is still has mass and it starts to float on its own, you need to give it a push to start it anyway. If the rock became completely weightless, you would need to be careful which side you would choose to stand on. So if the Earth spins towards the dawn at the horizon in the east, a weightless rock would just rise up and surely appear to move towards the west. So it might be a good stand at the rock's east. But isn't that strange? Ed Leedskalnin tells us stand in the west instead. In any event, the reason why Ed would say stand in the west, a weightless rock, is that it would become dangerous, and when it would move, a lot of mass will have slow velocity and could contain a lot of momentum to stop it. It could be the same as being crushed by a rock falling on you due to some low level of gravity. So it could get a rock to be completely weightless. It would be, in fact, be dangerous to control. It would be better if it could be completely weightless. A little bit of gravity would act like a light chain attached to the rock to make it easier to handle. So let's see if an interesting thing what happens when you crack a magnet in half and at its equator. If you could break one in half and try to put it together, it would not try to push apart. It would seem to have something happen at the crack at the magnet's equator and make the repel instead of attract. Yeah, it would push each other apart. You guys ever break a magnet and all of a sudden the magnet, I think I even have a piece around here. This right here, is this a magnet? No, just a piece of bar. Used to be a magnet, I think. But yeah, so it creates two. So thinking like this, it's pretty interesting about taking, and it's not so much electricity, it's more of a static. And I'm not saying static in like the Tesla coil where you go ahead and you throw high voltage at it, because you can't just throw high voltage at it. You just can't throw high voltage. You can't. It's more of a energy that gets caught up in these capacitors with the Wimshurst, because in between the collectors on these plates and the capacitor, that whole rod there becomes so charged, and you can hear it hissing out when you come near it. It wants to come out towards you. So that energy itself is the energy that we're looking to bring out. And I believe the Earth has that energy. And I believe that in this picture, Ed is showing us that that's the way he's doing it. In this picture, right here, Ed is showing us that he's got cables going to the rock, each side with steel going through it. He's got a receiving tower that's coming from the workshop that he's got like this tube going up that's not there now. He's got a lot of stuff going on. So, hope you guys enjoy the videos. Leave your comments. And I must say, if you guys have any questions, Michael, the Archangel, he'll answer anything you want. Guys, peace out. Take it easy.